Hey guys, it's me today, and we're at the softball banquet. Just get them out, okay? My name is Mary Cepeda, number 3 on varsity softball. Get out. It's starting, gotta go.
Don't do it.
No, don't. Every year I have to. She wants to watch her girl play just like all you guys want to watch, but at the same time she's got to keep track of everything and do all the subs. So it's a bit of a distraction, although I know my wife, it was a good thing because it kept her from yelling at the umpire, but that's my wife, so that's something different. She's not here. But I appreciate you doing that, and having accurate stats is really important, especially as we found out at the end of the year when we had our little coaches meeting. It's a big fiasco. I also want to thank Charity Doherty for putting him on Yes. For anybody who couldn't watch or, during the season, if you had the game changer, you got to do the live stat thing. Thank you. And she always had to, I think that was a good excuse for sitting in the shade, though, because her computer always get hot. But again, it was really nice because at the end of the game, I could literally go right to the stats, see what we needed, make any adjustments, or see what we needed to work on for the next couple of days. It's really to have that immediate feedback is really cool. So thanks for doing that, Charity. And then for organizing our team dinners, and for organizing this, I want to thank Jennifer Schramm. I underlined it too, so to make sure. Thank you. I did. I've been getting your name wrong too. So. The team dinners are super important. We do team dinners before the home games, and getting them together, making sure we have somebody filling in as we were playing in those playoffs. That was cool. So thanks for doing that. And then I have one more thank you. Well, during the season, I was asking them to come out and drag our field, and it was great. But then this one, Claire, dove for a ball and came up all tore up. And I said, all right, we need to rip this field. So I want to say a special thanks to Derek and Gina Crawford for coming out on Saturdays and ripping that field so that it was soft enough to dive on, which these girls did a lot of. So
I was like ready to fall.
I know.
I'm just kidding. All right, and then literally, I think 3 days before spring break, all of a sudden I saw these guys with tape measures and hard hats measuring around our cages. I'm like, what's up? Next day I find out they're taking our cages out. We're not going to have cages. So over spring break, we had to pull a lot of strings to get some people out there. And I know he's not here, but I want to recognize Bryson Norelli of Norelli Welding, who literally agreed to put those cages up, built them, and installed them in like 10 days. And as busy as he was at the time, for him to do that so we wouldn't miss a beat. And when they came back from spring break on Monday, it was like a new hitting oasis right there. So I want to thank Grace. It looks so good up there that I think they're going to make it permanent, and we're going to be able to keep them there. That's going to be a big fight for the next 2 years, so we're going to try and keep them there. I just want to say to the girls, you guys obviously had a great regular season. I mean, at the beginning, we have certain goals and stuff, and we look at the senior wall and we say, what are we going to do? How are you going to be represented? Our regular season, they were 20-3, and they had a super, super tough schedule. I told them this is the tough schedule era. When teams have won 20 games in the past, they've won it against teams that we've had to play and win the game, but they were smaller school teams, Santa Maria's, Napomos. They weren't Buchanan, Liberty, and Frontier. So you guys, to have the record you had playing the teams you played, and you literally have never had this happen, but we had a team from Salinas just tap out and say they didn't want to come down here. They looked at you and said, no, I don't know what happened. So I've never had a team scare out. So anyways, that was a great, great regular season, and that's going to be something that's going to be up there forever. You guys had a 12-game winning streak. Very, very nice. You stole 107 bases. Like that. 107. That's like almost. That's a lot. And Degnan was leading for a while, so we'll talk about that Everybody on this team had a batting average above 225. Every single girl. Every single girl. That's a great job. And that's with everybody having quite a few at bats. So that is very impressive. Bailey D had a perfect game at home. Claire became the fear of the league with her pickoffs and her throwdowns. It was to the point where people from Paso were yelling across the field to watch for her. We had Miss Gabby, who worked so hard on her defense that she owned left field. Our senior leaders this year, Brianna and Taylor, you guys are selfless leaders. You guys did a great job. You know, if the leaders are just leaders and it's my turn and I'm the boss and you have to do what I say, things don't usually work. And we've had a few of those in the past. This year we did not have those. You guys were wonderful. You led by example, and I really appreciate that. So great job. And then probably one of the most impressive stats that I shared with the girls as we were getting ready for the playoffs, and I don't think they realized it, but from March 26th to May 4th, that's 6 weeks. 6 weeks of softball. That included a tournament and our first part of our league. We were not behind in any single game. Not for an inning, not for at all. The only time it happened, I hate to say it, was the dreaded Paso game. But you know what? That's fine. But you know what happened with these girls is they...
Bridget doesn't like stats.
What's Paso?
Well, what I have on here is we actually learned the lessons of a loss on there because we didn't actually know how to play from behind. We were ahead and winning all these games, and then March 4th came around and the other team got behind and we didn't know what to do. So the next day of practice, they were sad, but they worked hard and they figured, okay, if we get behind, we're not going to panic, we're not going to freak out. And then they went on their roll again. They didn't get behind again at all until we got to West Torrance. Spotted them 3 runs in the first inning, and then these girls battled and battled. And anybody who watched that game, I can't even describe it. It was like watching a World Series game. They got ahead, we got ahead, and they all walked off. I mean, you can't play a better game than that. And so for us to respond after being behind in the first inning and battle in that game, again, that just shows the lessons learned of this team. And Coach sent me a text at the end of that game and said, too bad we didn't have an 8th inning. And I think we all agree. If we had an 8th inning, we had an 8th inning, so there you go. Okay, so and then the playoffs, we were 3-1, and we didn't even talk to these girls about this before, but before I got this coaching job, and even through my first 7 years of being the coach here, it was one and done in the playoffs. And these girls have broken that mold. They have showed everybody that, no, we don't just go to playoffs now. We go into playoffs and we go deep. It wasn't just one pitcher that did it. It was the whole team that scored runs and played defense behind him and gave support to that pitcher. And that is a winning recipe for sure. So in the playoffs, Bailey, again, had a no-hitter against St. Bonnie. Our offense out-hit every team in all 4 games. So every team we played, we actually had more hits than them. So, that's a darn good thing. Our tight D was always clutch at the end of the game. When we needed somebody to make a play, we made a play. And that's tough because at the end of the game, you guys know you were nervous watching the game. They were nervous playing it. And for them to come up with those plays, make those catches, dive for the balls, I mean, that was really cool. So, I'll never forget Claire's look after that top of the 7th home run.
Oh my God.
Don't even start. Don't even start. Don't even.
And then they definitely played the last pitch this year, so I know. Okay, so we'll start with the girls. I think I have to give them all. Okay. So we won't have you come up and stand here forever. We'll have you come out and do your thing. We can give you a high five, give them hugs, and we'll sit down. Our freshman, Mia Perry.
God.
She was so improved this year, both in hitting and fielding.
Not a dino.
Oh, man. Okay, let me finish here. Okay, Hannah was very improved this year. I mean, she started off, was short range, ball's coming at her. We're doing all these practices throwing at her. It's a little overwhelmed. Got this big old glove. By the middle of the season, she was dialed in, and by the end of the year, she was watching her I want to call it, you were the apprentice to her leader over here, and you did a great job owning that position. I know it was tough watching somebody like Taylor play every game in front of you, but when you got your opportunity to play with the JV, which we asked you to do, not only did you do a great job down there, hit the heck out of the ball, which I saw, but you were a great leader. I'll never forget when it was raining. It was in Ergetti. We just lost like 10-1 or something. We're all getting in the vans, and you're like, wait, and you got them all back there, and you gave them something. I don't even know what you said, but I know you said something to them. That kind of stuff is important. You just lost the game, but you realized you were still a team, and so for your leadership, and I look forward to seeing you play in the next couple of years.
Shelby, laser arm.
Shelby, laser arm.
No, it's laser arm. Hey, Lord.
So anyway, she's a great kid to have on your team.
Bye, Hannah.
Bye, Blong.
Bye,
Bye bye.